Sir, I'm surprised to see you out tonight.
Good evening.
It's starting to get kind of chilly at night.
Oh, it is.
I know you're not looking forward to this cold winter season.
I don't like snow, all that sort of stuff. Too many bad experiences with the cold. I see you brought some friends with you.
Friends to visit, hope you'll chat with them.
Evening.
Evening.
My name's Richard Lord Jones. I never thought that my life history would be very interesting to anybody, but I guess I can tell you a few things about myself. I was born on a farm outside of a small town in Connecticut, back when that was a colony of the Crown. Before it was a state. And then 16, my memory goes 1767. Long time ago. Grew up on that little farm for a few years and did all the things that a young boy would do. Did my chores, one thing and another. And the revolution started. And you might not believe this, but I swear it's true. When I was 10 years old, I joined the Army. I was a 10-year-old soldier. I don't even know whether they do that anymore or not. But I wasn't like most soldiers. I didn't shoot a musket or shoot a cannon or anything. I was a fifer. I played a thing kind of like a flute. It might sound kind of silly, and you might want to know, why would I be playing a flute in the Army or a fife? Well, every company and every regiment had fifers and drummers, and they had different jobs. They played for the entertainment of the troops, of course, and they played for all the drills and the marches and things like that. But our main job was during the battles. We would pass on the orders of the commander to the soldiers, because a fife and a drum could be heard above the shooting. So if he needed somebody down there to know what was going on, he would ask us to play a certain tune and the drummers to play a certain beat. Well, I think I was a pretty good fifer. At least I think I was. Did it for 3 years, so I guess I did all right. We fought some battles, fought some skirmishes, gave the British what for a few times. There was one time when Colonel Webb took me and some of the other boys out to Long Island. We were trying to find out exactly where the British were. We didn't know, but we were going to scope them out. And we found them. Problem was, they found us first. So we got captured. They took us prisoner down to Rhode Island. Stayed there till we was paroled. You know, what it means by paroled is we would swap some of our prisoners for some of theirs. Colonel Webb took me back home. I stayed there for a little while, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and came back with the regiment. Fought a few more battles and things like that. Oh, you probably heard of that winter in '78 with General Washington's troops in Valley Forge up in Pennsylvania. That was really cold, and they had a hard time. But you know, that was nothing compared to the winter we had in '79 in New Jersey. Now, that was really a cold one. Pardon me while I sit down a minute and rest these old bones. Oh.
Yes, I remember all the officers talking about how bad Valley Forge was, but Morristown, New Jersey was worse. The wind was bitter and the snow was up to our waists. all we had were tents for shelter, and each one of us had a wool blanket, and that was it. Food was scarce. Not many of us made it through the winter. But then one time, Colonel Webb announced that General Washington was coming to review the troops, and we didn't have enough shirts to go around. So we cut up the shirts we could find to make it look like, put little corners sticking out over our stocks to make it look like we had shirts on. And we put our jackets over our bare backs and tried to look as best we could. Then after the review, our field officers announced that they were having a dinner for General Washington and General Lafayette. Our regiment to play before the dinner, and Colonel Webb called me in and introduced me to some ladies, and he asked me to sing a song for them. They must have liked it because they gave me some wine, and Mrs. Washington gave me a $3 Continental bill.
That's just a little bit there. Well, anyhow, I got out of the Army in 1780. I was 12 years old at the time. And all that time that I was in, I never got shot, never got wounded,
Well,
never got even hurt.
Well, if it counts, we did break our nose.
Oh, we did break our nose, yes. I forgot about that. Well, it had nothing to do with being in the Army. I was just being a boy. I ran down this hill through these woods, you know, like a boy would do. I ran smack into a tree. Broke my nose. Oh, that hurt. They made fun of me for
3 months.
at least 3 months. We were the laughing stock. That was my only wound. Well, I got out of the Army in 1780. Went back home for a while. When I got old enough, I got myself married to my wife, Hannah. But she up and died on me right after the wedding. That wasn't very good. Got married again in 1806 to Elizabeth. Elizabeth Clark was her name. We had 5 children. I went into business for myself out in New York State. I was just selling general merchandise and making wagons and some furniture and things like that. And I was sort of at the top of the heap until that second war with Great Britain. You'd probably call that the War of 1812. And my business got burned down. My house got burned down. I lost everything I had. I went into debt and became a poor man. Never could get out of debt. Now, 18 and 18, I had a chance to get a back pension from the Revolution. But I was sick, and I just didn't feel like going down there to do it. I still kick myself thinking about that. I should have crawled down there, actually. So I didn't get my pension. We moved to Virginia, stayed there a while, and then moved up here to Galena County, Ohio. In 18 and 30, I had a chance to get another pension. And my brother E.P. wrote the government a letter saying that I was really destitute and I needed to get that pension. And lo and behold, I got it. $8 a month for the rest of my life. Barely enough to keep me out of the poorhouse, but better than nothing. And after that, we moved down here to New Albany. One of my daughters lived here. And through the good graces of her and her family, odd jobs that I could get, my little $8 pension, I just barely scraped by. So from the time of the War of 1812 to the time I died in 1852, I had practically nothing. Oh, I do have that little old $3 Continental bill. But even that's not worth a Continental. Oh, there I lie.
Rest in peace.
Well, old friend, thank you.